Alright, in this video we're looking at algebraic fractions, and we're having two skills covered in this one. Number one, cancelling, and then the second one is addition and subtraction of fractions. So we're going to start from the left, move down. Alright, first we've got an expression here. It's not an equation because there is no equal sign, but what we need to do is simplify it as much as we can. So the way we have to do that is we work with our numbers first, we work with our x terms, and we work with our y terms. You might find other variables like a, b, c, whatever it is. Either way, you can only work with like terms. So numbers, we know that if you have to simplify that out, what we're really seeing is 10 divide 2, and then we are seeing x cubed divide x, and then we are seeing y squared divide y. So if we work with our like terms only, this is what we're getting. Okay, so we know 10 divide 2 is 5. If we have x cubed, what we're really seeing is x times x times x. So we can actually write that out if you want. X times x times x divide x. And then over here we're seeing y times y divide y. Okay, this line is not necessary. I'm showing you it so you understand how to expand these out. Okay, so we've still got 5 sitting there. If we have x, x, x up here, these can cancel out, and all we're left with is x squared on the top of the fraction there. And then the same thing here, we've got a y and a y will cancel each other out, so therefore it just leaves a single y term. Okay, so again we only worked with like terms there. This time, in this particular one, we have numbers. We have to work with them all together, so let's start with that very quickly. We can actually start to cancel some of these numbers, given that there is a common factor here. The common factor that fits into all of them is 2. We've got a 2 sitting here, so if we divide 2 by 2, it's 1. If we divide 12 by 2, it is 6, and if we divide 6 by 2, it is 3. So really what we're left with here is 6x minus x squared divided by 3x. Right? That line doesn't need to appear either, but it will help you to simplify it out. Okay, this time we can have a look at all of our other terms here. We can say, alright, what is actually left, because we've still got an x in each term, and we can simplify it one more time. So if we divide each term by x, we have 1 here, we have an x, given that x squared is x times x, so x squared divided by x just leaves us with 1x, and then this one, x divided x, will give us 1. So once again we're down to our nice simplified section here, and that's all we can do because we do not have a common factor amongst all of those sections now. Alright, so we have to kind of think back to maybe even primary school when we learnt how to add fractions. It might be year 7 or 8 even, and we have to think about, okay, we cannot add a fraction unless they have the same denominator. Alright, so the best way to do this is find a lowest common denominator, LCD. We have to think about our lowest common denominator, and the most common number between those to find a common multiple here is 12, because if we go 3, 6, 9, 12, okay, and 4, 8, 12, so we have a common factor here. So what we are trying to do is get both of these with a denominator of 12. Now the way we did that was we did, alright, well, to get 3 to 12 we multiplied by 4, so we now need to multiply the numerator by 4, so that's going to leave us with 4a. Same thing on this side, we multiplied the denominator by 3 to get it to 12, so we have to multiply the numerator by 3. That's going to leave us with 21a. So now we actually have the same on the both denominators here, so we can put the whole thing over the top of one denominator, which gives us a 12, and then we can say we've got 4a plus 21a divided by 12, and we know that 4a plus 21a is 25a divided by 12. That is as far as we can go. We cannot simplify this any further because we do not have common terms. We have a term with a variable, or a, and we have a term that is just a number. Alright, let's do the same thing with this one here. We have to find a common denominator. This time we don't need to times them together or multiply them together, because 9 is actually a multiple of 3, and 3 is a factor of 9, so we can use 9 as our common denominator. So if we try and get both of these fractions over 9, we can do that. This one doesn't change. We multiplied this by 3 to get it to 9, so we multiply the numerator as well, so that's going to give us 6a. So that's actually as far as we can go now, because we cannot find any more factors to simplify that by. Okay, so that is our 2 skills. We are simplifying some expressions using common factors, and we are adding and subtracting fractions there.